Okay, welcome to the Deep Dive. Our mission here is simple. Take your source material and extract the absolute most important knowledge and insights, giving you a shortcut to being truly well-informed.
Think of us as your guides through the information, helping you understand what's really worth paying attention to in the stack of sources you bring us.
Today, we're diving into a single source.
Mhm.
It's a fascinating transcript from a YouTube video.
Right, this one's called Sunday Morning Hiking Lost and Found, Galleon Beach Mermaid Garden, Pillars of Hercules, 1 June 2025.
Quite the title.
It is. And it's basically like an audio snapshot of a specific group on a very specific hike, one particular day, June 1st, 2025.
Okay.
They start somewhere near Freeman's Bay and Galleon Beach, and the plan is to head towards landmarks like the Pillars of Hercules and Mermaid Garden.
So our goal isn't just to trace their steps, is it? It's more about understanding the journey itself.
Exactly, the observations they made along the way and what this particular hike reveals about the experience of being in this location on that specific Sunday morning.
And why does digging into these details matter? Well, because it gives you, the listener, a real feel for the place and the moment. Let's unpack this.
Absolutely. So it starts, like a lot of group activities do, with everyone gathering.
Waiting around.
Yeah, they're waiting for others. Specifically mentioned someone named Jace before they roll out.
And right away, you get a sense of the scale of hiking that day. It's described as a hikerema morning.
Hikarama, yeah. Suggests lots of people out, maybe on different trails nearby. Sets a scene for a busy outdoors day.
But then, almost immediately, you get this really specific personal detail. It kind of grounds the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, the digestion issues mentioned.
Right. Someone's dealing with that after a fast, wants to avoid a repeat of a bad experience from yesterday.
It's such a human detail, isn't it? A reminder that even on a beautiful hike, people are bringing their everyday realities with them.
Totally. It's not some abstract nature film. It's real people.
Yeah.
So the group gets ready, quick check-in, and then they're off, rolling out.
And the initial destination seems clear. Approaching Freeman's Bay and Galleon Beach.
Mm-hmm.
There's even talk of potentially going up to the hill this morning.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe having a picnic here this morning or breakfast picnic. So a bit flexible.
So the plan seems a little loose right from the start then. Coastline first, but options open for, like, elevation or food.
Yeah, suggests a relaxed, kind of go-with-the-flow attitude, which is nice for a Sunday morning hike.
Right. So as they start moving along Galleon Beach, they hit an immediate snag, like right away.
Someone points out the path forward has an issue. You can't pass there.
And they describe it as, what was it? Utter madness.
Yeah, utter madness. That description really tells you something, doesn't it? About how bad the blockage must have seemed.
It does. It means they have to adapt their route immediately. Takes them towards what's described as a private side.
And this quick diversion, it just highlights how the unexpected can instantly reshape even a planned route,
Definitely. And from this adjusted path, they start noticing changes in the landscape. New construction.
Yeah, mentions of new construction or residents spotting a brand new resident or a building that's new.
And even specific details like a yellow one that was recently painted over. What does seeing that development right there tell us?
Well, it reveals that even this scenic sort of natural area isn't static, right? It's actively being developed, built upon. It places the hike within the context of a changing environment where human activity is literally building new stuff alongside the natural features.
And they're also orienting themselves, looking at landmarks from the beach.
They point out the Middle Ground Trail leading to Fort Berkeley.
Okay.
And further out at the tip, Fort Charlotte. Shirley Heights is also visible, described pretty simply as that little hump in the middle distance.
Those references immediately anchor the hike geographically, especially if you know the area. Shows their position relative to these known points.
And then there's that great little, slightly surprising detail.
The cactus.
The cactus. Right there in Galleon Beach.
On the beach. That seems kind of unusual. What might that suggest about the local ecosystem there?
It hints at the specific microclimate, maybe? Or the soil conditions right on the coast? Probably resilient, sandy, rocky terrain that can support drought-tolerant plants like a cactus, even right next to the sea. It's a small observation, but it gives you a unique ecological detail about that exact spot.
Fascinating how one plant can tell a story. But as they get further along, the reality of the trail itself starts to emerge, and it's not all smooth sailing.
No. Despite maybe being planned as a short little circle of hike, it clearly presents challenges.
There's that comment about the trail potentially being a gentle slope and someone saying they should test this today.
Yeah, that sounds like a bit of humorous anticipation, maybe. Or perhaps underestimating what's coming.
Because then they immediately point out specific dangers, like a tree that might die.
Right, but it's loaded with cherries, described as the best vitamins you get in the world, so abundance and risk side by side.
And another unstable-looking tree further up. Nature here is definitely not perfectly manicured.
Not at all, and they encounter steps that look well-defined at first, which sounds good.
But then described as being in the bucket. What does that even mean, in the bucket?
It's vivid, isn't it? I picture them just filled with water or deep mud, like sitting in a bucket of slop.
Ugh, okay. So wet, difficult footing, probably from rain.
Seems likely. And this practical challenge connects to a bigger observation they make about the coastline itself.
The cracking up and falling apart bit.
Yeah, and that dramatic comparison they make to mountains falling down in Switzerland, just to emphasize the scale of the erosion.
Wow, comparing it to Switzerland really drives home how active and, well, unstable this shoreline is. A landscape in constant flux.
It paints quite a picture, and navigating this requires practical things they mentioned, needing enough water, basic necessity, but critical with tricky terrain.
Makes sense.
And there's that interesting moment where the speaker feels a section of the trail is different, like maybe closer to the edge than usual.
Something strange about this trail here, they say.
Yeah, that feeling of something being strange highlights how, even on a familiar route, the dynamics of this active shoreline can literally shift the path.
That's powerful detail. The landscape itself changing perceptibly. So from this challenging path, they reach one of their key destinations, the infamous Mermaid Gardens.
Infamous, I like that. And the immediate key observation here focuses on the water, described simply as clear.
Just saying clear tells you so much, doesn't it? Conditions, visibility.
Right. They can see specific fish, black and kind of bluish looking.
And others are fishing there too?
Yep, commented that they're doing a lot of fishing over there, so it's clearly a known spot. Seems vibrant with marine life, and people know it. There's even a moment where they kind of wonder about the name Mermaid Garden.
Oh, yeah?
Suggesting maybe it's because when the fishes come up, it's a charming, simple, very human attempt to explain the name based on what they're seeing right then.
That's the kind of detail that makes you feel like you're right there. Okay, so from Mermaid Garden, they continue towards the Pillar of Hercules.
And here, the focus shifts dramatically. From the calm clarity of Mermaid Garden to the raw power of the sea.
They expect rough waves.
Yeah, they anticipate the waves will be a little rough around there and later confirm they are rough right now.
And you understand why the waves are key when they talk about the rock formations. How the water has eaten out the rocks over time.
Creating these distinct formations, different ledges, you can almost picture the ocean just relentlessly shaping the land.
It's described as an active shoreline where rocks are falling ever so often.
Which reinforces that sense of a dynamic, maybe even slightly perilous environment. This isn't some static monument. It's constantly being sculpted.
And someone comments on just how hard the path is to get there, questioning the structural integrity of the route.
With that great line, how I get to kill a Hercules around there.
What do you make of that? Just a joke or?
Seems like humorous exaggeration, right? But it captures the challenge, maybe a bit of worry about navigating a path that feels precarious, especially with falling rocks and rough waves nearby.
Like, this path feels dangerous enough to take down a mythical hero.
Exactly. It's witty. Adds another layer to the experience. It's not just a walk to the tillers, it's an adventure just getting there.
Yeah, definitely. And beyond these main spots, the transcript is just full of smaller, unexpected discoveries and these lively interactions. That gives the hike its specific flavor.
Like the cherry trees. They keep coming up.
Not just mentioned, but emphasized as loaded, offering good vitamin C.
Yeah, the focus on the cherries and the benefit, good vitamin C, shows the hikers are really observing and valuing the natural bounty. It turns a simple tree into like a landmark of potential snacks.
And they observe all sorts of natural items on the ground, some described in pretty colorful terms based on how they look.
Right, the things described as balls and sperm.
And they also find a shiny dragon fruit that apparently tastes like strawberry, which is surprising.
Totally unexpected flavor note. And a cactus fruit, too.
Those specific descriptions, like the ground items named for looks or the weird dragon fruit flavor, they really bring the sensory experience to life. Shows the group is looking closely, interpreting things in sometimes funny ways.
And they spot wildlife, too. A crab,
Yeah.
a frog.
And that intriguing bird or something stone. Still wonder about that one.
Yeah, who knows? They also find a blowhole along the way
Oh, cool.
and mention a sea needle farm. What exactly is a sea needle farm? Sounds interesting, but kind of obscure.
Good question. My guess. It almost certainly refers to a colony or patch of needlefish, or maybe other long, slender fish. You often find them in shallow, clear coastal waters.
Ah, yeah.
Seeing a whole bunch of them together might just look like a farm to whoever said it. It's a very specific natural thing they saw, pointing again to how rich the marine environment is there.
Okay, that makes sense. Clears that up. It's obvious they're really looking at the details, big and small.
And they're interacting with other people too, right? Hikers, fishermen.
Yeah, noting things like someone having success night fishing the week before.
Those interactions weave this group's hike into the bigger picture of people using and enjoying the area. Shows it's a shared space.
And the group dynamic itself is really clear in moments of navigating the tough bits together.
Like needing to crab walk down a steep section.
Yeah, or helping each other up steps, dealing with wet shoes, carefully navigating wet rocks.
Those moments of shared challenge and helping each other, they make it a collective experience, not just individuals walking.
Definitely. And the conversations cover a lot of ground, lighthearted stuff, like look as if we're not in any hurry.
To more observational things, like differences between rocks and stones, or how kids might see things differently.
And personal anecdotes get woven in memories, forgetting names, past trips, birthday parties. It shows how the physical journey triggers these internal journeys of memory and connection for them.
So as the hike starts to wind down, they're moving across Freeman's Bay to finish up.
And here's an interesting note, despite all the challenges they mentioned.
The impassable path, wet steps, rough waves.
Questionable structural integrity, unstable trees, yeah, all that. Someone describes the overall trip as super easy.
That seems like a total contradiction. They hit snags,
Yeah.
navigated tough spots. Why call it super easy?
Well, it could be relative, right? Maybe compared to much harder hikes they've done before.
Possibly.
Or maybe the good parts, the clear water, the views, the company, the cool discoveries just outweighed the difficulties in their overall memory of it, made the effort feel minimal compared to the rewards.
So easy is subjective on the trail.
Pretty much, it's about perceived effort versus the value you got from the experience.
That's a great point. The final location is specified. Back at Freeman's Bay Galleon Beach, across from Nelson's backyard. Specific.
Very. And before they wrap up, the speaker ties this specific moment, this Sunday hike, into the local rhythm.
How so?
By mentioning upcoming events right there, Women's Ministry Week happening next week, and specific fishing tournament dates.
Oh yeah, June 7th and 8th, 14th, 24th.
Held right here at the entrance of Freeman's Bay.
So this one hike isn't just standalone, it's situated right within the flow of community life and activities happening in that specific bay.
Exactly. The deep dive, the transcript rather, ends with the group saying goodbye from that spot.
So what does this all mean for you, listening?
Well, this deep dive into a single hike, one day, June 1st, 2025, it shows us that even a planned, relatively short route can be just full of surprises and rich detail.
From unexpected obstacles forcing them to change plans to challenging terrain shaped by nature.
To fascinating observations of the unique ecosystem and just the simple joy of discovery.
It's a reminder that exploring a place isn't just about getting from A to B, is it?
Not at all. It's about being present for the journey itself. The specific details you notice, the clear water, the loaded fruit trees, those specific rock formations.
And the interactions shared with the people you're with.
Right. And this specific hike also ties into the pulse of local life with those mentions of fishing tournaments and community events rooted right there. It connects the natural space to the people.
What's really fascinating here, though, and what stands out from all those observations about the cracking coastline, the rough waves, the feeling the trail itself is shifting,
is how dynamic this place truly is. That phrase, active shoreline, where rocks are falling, water is constantly sculpting.
it really raises a pretty big question, doesn't it?
It does. If the very ground they were walking on is actively changing, being eaten away by the sea, how does the experience of hiking and navigating this specific location fundamentally change over time?
Yeah. You're left wondering how different that exact same path might be, not just year to year, but maybe even like month to month, as the coastline continues its relentless evolution.
Definitely something to think about.
Something for you to think about until our next deep dive.